hard brilliancy of 101, and a certain kindly sympathy with the aged, the poor, and the humble of this life, not excluding the brute creation, makes itself felt throughout. The opposition between Taoism and Confucianism is not so sharp as we find it in 101, and Confucius himself is treated with much greater respect. This alone is strong evidence in favor of the priority of Lieh-TzÄ, for there is no doubt that the breach between the two systems widened as time went on. Lieh-TzÄ's work is about half as long as 101's and is now divided into 8 books. The 7th of these deals exclusively with the doctrine of the egoistic philosopher Yang-Zhu, and has therefore been omitted altogether from the present selection. Nearly all the Taoist writers are fond of parables and allegorical tales, but in none of them is this branch of literature brought to such perfection as in Lieh-TzÄ, who surpasses 101 himself as a master of anecdote. His stories are almost invariably pithy and pointed. Many of them evince not only a keen sense of dramatic effect, but real insight into human nature. Others may appear fantastic and somewhat wildly imaginative. The story of the man who issued out of solid rock is a typical one of this class. It ends, however, with a streak of ironical humor which may lead us to doubt whether Lieh-TzÄ himself really believed in the possibility of transcending natural laws. His soberer judgment appears in other passages, like the following: "That which has life must by the law of its being come to an end, and the end can no more be avoided than the living creature can help having been born. So that he who hopes to perpetuate his life or to shut out death is deceived in his calculations." That leaves little doubt as to the light in which Lieh-TzÄ would have regarded the later Taoist speculations on the elixir of life. Perhaps the best solution of the problem is the theory I have already mentioned, that the Lieh-TzÄ which we possess now, while containing a solid and authentic core of the master's own teaching, has been overlaid with much of the decadent Taoism of the age that followed. Of this third period little need be said here. It is represented in literature by the lengthy treatise of 101, the spurious episodes in Lieh-TzÄ and 101, and a host of minor writers, some of whom tried to pass off their works as the genuine relics of ancient sages. Zhang Zhan, an officer of the banqueting court under the Eastern Jin dynasty, 4th century A.D., is the author of the best commentary on Lieh-TzÄ. Extracts from it, placed between inverted commas, will be found in the following pages. In the time of Zhang Zhan, although Taoism as a philosophical system had long run its course, its development into a national religion was only just beginning, and its subsequent influence on literature and art is hardly to be overestimated. It supplied the elements of mystery, romance, and color which were needed as a set-off against the uncompromising stiffness of the Confucian ideal. For reviving and incorporating in itself the floating mass of folklore and mythology which had come down from the earliest ages, as well as for the many exquisite creations of its own fancy, it deserves the lasting gratitude of the Chinese people. End introduction. This recording is in the public domain.